Welcome to the Quick Talk Podcast with Joshua Latimer, where we discuss business, life, family, faith, struggle, fire, pain, and ultimately winning.
It's time to take massive action. Look, I can't work harder on your life or business than you do. It's ultimately all on you.
You know, God created all the food the birds would ever need, but he doesn't put it in their nest. You've got to go get it.
10 out of 10 people die. So how about doing something today that actually matters while you still can? What's going on, my friends? Welcome to the Quick Talk Podcast. Josh here. I'm going to blow your minds on this episode. I have some gold nuggets that I'm so excited to share some updates, some things that are going on in my life and my companies, what the future holds, as well as some value bombs that you can apply to your business today. And so I'm just going to talk with you for a few minutes. Now, I've been doing this podcast for going on 2 years. And when I moved to Costa Rica, so I had my service company. I built it up, sold it, and moved my family to Costa Rica. We lived there for almost a year and a half or so. And then we moved back to Michigan and bought our dream home here in northern Michigan. You may have seen pictures of the Castle House. It's a really cool house, and it's on 23 acres, rolling hills. We have chickens now. It's amazing, right? Go-karts and mini bikes and all that stuff. But when I started the podcast, I had no idea what to expect. You know, we have about 200,000 downloads since I started the podcast. And over the course of this summer, I stopped creating content. I took a break, and I've been trying to recalibrate and understand for myself personally what the trajectory of my businesses needs to be. Where should I be pointing? What should I be doing, right? A lot of you know that I have a software company now called Radius Bomb or SendJim. And it's going really well. You know, I've had that thing for 4.5 years. And it started as a project for myself, right? We were going to take like 50 to 100 grand and build this software to send postcards for my cleaning company before we sold it. And it was going to be like a proprietary secret weapon for us. And it evolved from there. And for those of you that have followed me on my journey from way back then, the software had like all kinds of challenges and issues, and then it would break. And I had it developed in India the very first go around 4 years ago. And that was a disaster. And it was a huge mistake. And we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars pivoting and fixing and iterating and learning because I had no idea what I was doing. And again, back to the podcast. I had no idea how to start a podcast, how to grow a podcast, how to make an interesting podcast. I had no idea. I just did it. And if there's one trait that's helped me in business more than anything, I'd say it's relentlessness. It's the ability to ready, fire, aim. And not that you should always do that. You know, like planning things out and educating yourself is super important. But at the same time, when you're going into a new territory, sometimes you just got to go for it. Now, if I would have known up front how hard it was going to be to get Radius Bomb going, I don't know if I would have done it. You know, I really thought it was going to be much easier to launch a software business than it turned out to be. But I say all that to say this. Things are going well with the software. You know, the profitability for our company isn't where I'd like it to be yet. The expenses are still very, very high. We're still trying to understand our model and all that. But we've sold $1 million worth of software this year, which is an amazing accomplishment. I have no technical background. My business partner has no technical background. Like, we're just passionate about home service companies, about growing, about marketing the right way, about getting results, about providing value and serving people, inspiring people. And we've just kind of plowed through this podcast. And then we started the Growth Vault. And then we have Radius Bomb and all this stuff. And my point is this. There's going to be some changes coming this year. And they're all exciting. I'm going to be spending more time focusing on my software company. But I'm going to do some other stuff that I think is really cool. And hopefully you'll join me on the journey. So we're going to kind of focus on YouTube a little more this year. And I'm going to start doing some daily video vlogs, right? Video blogs. And I've never done that before. Like, it's super uncomfortable and weird for me to walk around with a camera all the time, but I'm going to do it anyway because I want to take you on my journey from 1 million to 10 million in revenue with my software company. And we have enough momentum and the product is phenomenal at this point, and we can sell it. We can sell the crap out of this thing, but we need infrastructure and team and culture, and we got to make the product sticky. And there's all these challenges with my software business that honestly, I think you will learn a ton from to apply to your service company if you just follow the journey. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to grow a big business. And I'm going to take you behind the scenes as I attempt to grow a very big business in a brand new space that I was never a part of, that I just dove into, the world of software. Now, I could clean a window, I could climb a ladder, I could power wash a house, I could do all those things, no problem. This is a totally different world. But there's so many parallel applicable things that I'm learning and have learned and will learn over this next year with my business that are completely applicable to you, right? Like, we're going to have challenges. And for me to try to 10x this software company is not going to be easy. Like, it's going to stretch me in ways that I probably can't even comprehend. But we've made the decision to do it. And I want to entertain you, I want to educate you, and I want you to come with me. So I'm going to be doing these vlogs on our YouTube channel, which is The Growth Vault. We're also going to make a big push to just make The Growth Vault our primary call to action. And I'm going to tell you why we're doing that. The reason is we're creating what's called a value ladder, right? And so with our software, and maybe this applies to your service company somehow, like, how do you engage in a relationship with a new client? Well, for us, there's not like an entry point and then a little level above that, and then a level above that, and a level that doesn't really exist for Radius Bomb right now, but we need to make it exist. So we're going to transform the software business into an education and other type of resource business hub. And the mission isn't to sell software; it's to help businesses automate and grow and build sellable companies. It's to help them not be a slave to their company. Like, our mission, our purpose isn't to sell a software product; it's to help your business run smoother, be more profitable, be easier, less stressful, be sellable, be wildly growing, be whatever it is that you want it to be for your family to serve you. That's what we want. That's what I want. And what's really cool about me focusing on that big mission rather than just how do I sell more software? How do I sell more software? Is that it gives us permission to do other stuff. For example, if you look at like Apple computers, okay, they were a company that was like this big disruptive thing. They were like, we're going to challenge the status quo. And I'm talking early on with Apple. Like they were like the rebellious tech company. Like we're going to break the rules. Like, who says we can't do this? And that's kind of like their mission. And Steve Jobs would lead that mission. And what was really interesting to me about that is it gave Apple permission to not just do one thing, right? So they sell computers. Yeah. Well, then they came out with the iPod. And then they have the iPhone. And now they have watches that they sell. And they have all these other products, right? They have the App Store. And the reason they're allowed, and it's logical and reasonable for their brand to have all these things underneath it, is because they were focused on the mission of just disrupting anything they can disrupt. They're actually working on some cars and having a car program. I don't know if that's going to launch or not. And things are different with Steve Jobs dead now. But it's interesting. And in parallel, what I just said about Apple with Dell Computer, right? Look at Dell Computer. Dell Computer, like, imagine if they tried to sell a car. Even if they tried to sell an iPod or a music MP3 player, no one would buy it. Why is that? Think about this. This is profound. Why does no one want to buy a music player from Dell? Well, it's because of the way they positioned their company. They're not on a mission. They were more commoditized, and they were focused on features like our computers have the fastest processors and the sleekest, desktop towers and the best LCD monitors, whatever. They were like bullet pointing their computer and why their computer was a better computer. And so it wasn't this big mission. It was just a product. And they're a computer, and that's it. And what it does is it sticks that company in a corner and makes it very difficult for them to move into new vertical markets or anything like that. I don't want that to happen with Radius Bomb, and I don't want it to be a commodity. And there are no rules, and we have to remember that. And I am remembering that. And so we're going to break the rules. Who says we have to have a software company that we charge X amount per month, or that we do this and then we do it this way, and then this is how you do customer support, and this is how you add on features, and this is how you generate extra revenue? None of that stuff's actually true. It's just the way that common software companies do things. What I want to do is I want to transform the Growth Vault. And, the Growth Vault's a Facebook group right now. It's got a couple thousand people. It's small. There could be 200,000 people in there. TheGrowthVault.com is a little website with some webinars and training videos and free documents and stuff. We're going to rip it apart and make it sick. It's going to be unbelievable, okay? And my mission is going to transform from selling software to helping people automate, grow, and build scalable businesses and live the life they want. And I'm going to do that by being authentic to myself, my story, the things I'm passionate about. And we're going to encompass Radius Bomb and these digital courses and all these other things, some of which are secret, under the umbrella of the Growth Vault. And maybe this doesn't make perfect sense to you, but it will over the course of the coming year. We're going to create a value ladder. So it's not just a transaction, buy my software, okay, give me $1,000, awesome, cool, awesome, all right, have a great day. No, it's going to be this organic relationship where we're going to create massive content, more podcasts, video blogs. We're going to have Facebook Live, like TV show type stuff happening. We're going to do all this stuff, pushing people into the Growth Vault. And then the Growth Vault's going to blow people's minds and teach them and give them massive value. Like, we're going to give, and then ask. And maybe one of you will purchase a low-cost entry-level product or a PDF or some sort of short training to help you with one specific area of your business, and that's awesome. And then after you do that and you know, like, and trust me and our brand, then you'll go a little deeper. Then you'll go a little deeper to a little more expensive thing, and then eventually you'll buy Radius Bomb, and then you'll become a certified partner, and then you'll join some other more expensive product as you go deeper into our world as we help you. And I'm excited about it. I'm also nervous about it. I've never been in software, and we've broke that $1 million mark. That's a big deal. But what it's going to take to go to 10 million from 1 million, there's a lot of the rules are going to change. There's a lot of differences, right? One of the big things about a bootstrapped, self-funded software company like us is that we play by different rules. The venture-backed Silicon Valley software companies, they don't play by reality. They don't live in reality because the VC money that they get, they just spend it. And what they can do is this concept called cash burn. So let's say that there's this app, and it's this really cool app, and the lifetime value of a customer for this app is $3,000, right? Let's say there's some business app and people pay them $100 a month, and the average person stays for 30 months. That equals $3,000. And they can demonstrate that, let's say. But let's say that their customer acquisition cost is $600. So they can spend all this money on ads and funnels and all these things, and they put out this content and banner ads and all this stuff, and they go to trade shows, and when they bring in a customer, when they do all the math on it, it costs them $600. Well, here's the issue. That company only makes $100 a month, right? But they spent $600 to get one customer. Now, venture capitalists love this, okay? As long as you can get a greater than a 4 multiple on your customer acquisition cost, meaning if you can get 4 times more in the lifetime value than it costs to acquire, like, that's really juicy for VC companies and stuff. So they'll give $10 million to a company that can prove that that's the case, right? So they give away $600, acquire a customer, they only get $100 back. That means they're $500 in the hole, right? Like today. And then over the next 4 months, they get another 100, another 100, another 100, and eventually after 6 months, they've broken even. Well, a company like ours can't do that. We can't afford to give away, $250,000 to acquire all these customers so that in 7 months we can make, our $250,000 back. It just doesn't work like that. And so we have to be scrappy. We have to be creative. We have to think outside the box. We have to think of other ways to monetize things. And you know what? It's not just about monetizing things. It's about providing value. And in your company, sometimes we focus on how do we make money? How do I get money? How do I get money? And I'm guilty of that. But it's a mistake. Instead, and what this whole pivot for me is all about is how do I give so much? How do I provide so much gold to people that their heads are about to explode and they can't even deal with it? And they're so grateful and thankful they have no choice but to engage in some sort of a transaction with our company because there's just a real relationship. And like Gary Vee's book, Jab, Jab, Right Hook or whatever it's called. That's what it's all about. And so we're going to just crank out massive resources for you. We're going to do all kinds of stuff. I'm excited. And most importantly, it's going to help me overcome some of my personal self-limiting beliefs on taking a software company to 10 million in a year. Because that's not going to be an easy thing, right? Like I still have these things, these blocks in my head where I'm like, oh God, like I haven't done that before. Like 10 million, that's crazy. That's a lot, right? And we have a remote team and we just invented this thing and how are we going to sell it? And what if people don't like it? And all this crazy stuff in my head, some of that's been, overcame because we've had some success, but this could be $100 million business in the next 5 years. but I can't get there if I can't get to 10. So I'm going to go for it. I'm going to take you on the journey as a way to hold myself accountable and to try to smash through some of my self-limiting beliefs. Another thing I want to announce is that I just joined a mastermind group. And it cost $25,000 for me to join this one mastermind group, which is kind of crazy. And most of you are thinking, holy crap, Josh, I don't have $25. Well, that's okay. You're going to have $25. Then you're going to have $2,500. Then you're going to have $25,000. I promise. Just keep sticking with it. But I've been in a free mastermind group with some other Christian entrepreneurs. I'm a believer. Super important to me. It's not important to me. It's reality. Like, Jesus Christ is literally real. He's literally the reason I do this stuff. And that's a whole nother, conversation. But it's like gravity. 2 + 2 = 4. I was handmade by God on purpose, for a purpose, and so were you. Not to get too preachy, but that's how I feel. And I've been in this mastermind group with these guys for a couple years. And I've built the podcast. I've done these digital products. I had my boot camp. We sold hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of boot camps. I had no idea how to sell a digital product, right? I just did it. But the reason that I executed on it and followed through with it and we made it happen was in large part due to weekly accountability through this mastermind group. And so I see massive value in moving the ball down the field incrementally and being around like-minded people. And one of the hardest parts for a lot of you guys listening to this is that you don't have and it's not like in a mastermind group you get some life-changing piece of single information where you're like, oh, now my wildest dreams come true. That's not even what it's for. It's not to get another gold nugget, really. It's to hold yourself accountable to do what you are capable of when you otherwise wouldn't have done it. Because you would have let yourself off the hook, but your accountability group, your mastermind group, they won't let you, right? That's the idea. But anyway, so I've been in this group. And I've achieved a lot of different stuff, but I'm also hitting my head against a ceiling. And the circle of influence I have right now, I'm at the top of it, So it's like when I do podcasts, I'm pouring out, I'm giving, I'm trying to teach and give information. Well, I need that to happen to me. I need someone above me, someone that's further ahead in this space, in the software space, the digital marketing space, someone that's killing it. Like way ahead of me. I need some of their brain to go into my brain to help me break through things, right? And so that's why I joined this expensive group. And it's Russell Brunson's Inner Circle. There's 100 people in it. They all pay $25,000. And it's not like Russell, when I meet him, I've been boxing him now. I have access to him. He's not going to say one nugget of information that will change my life. But being around these brains and having accountability and then attaching a large financial commitment to it, which I already wired the whole $25,000, right? Like that's a big deal. That's why I'll follow through. And let's say that I fail miserably and we do 6 million or we do 4.5 million and we're super profitable. Like that's not a failure. But I want to be open and honest about all this because I think that you're going to find it interesting. And that's the risk that I'm taking. So I'm still going to interview large service companies. We're going to talk about service company stuff constantly. But I'm also going to talk a lot about what we're doing and the struggles and what's working and what's not working. If you follow the daily video blog, that's going to be a whole different thing. You can get, a sneak peek of my family life and what, how things are run at home and some of the things that I'm thinking, good and bad, right? So it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. But I want to invite you to join me on this journey. And you can start by subscribing to the YouTube channel where a lot of this stuff's going to be pushed out. And that's The Growth Vault. So if you go to youtube.com/C/The Growth Vault. It's easier, honestly, just to Google The Growth Vault and find the YouTube channel. Just subscribe to it. There's going to be a lot of content coming down. I have a lot to learn on YouTube. We only have like 300 subscribers on that channel, and we want to have 100,000 subscribers on that channel. So I'll tell you, I'm excited. And I'm thankful for all of you that have helped us achieve what we've achieved so far. But we're also a small little bubble of what's available out there. And the community I have on Facebook or through the podcast or my email list is a tiny little embryo. And I'm going to have to take some risks to make that bigger, to raise that sphere of influence and to raise up my game and the awareness and what I'm capable of. I got to go for it. So if you want to follow me on the journey, that's awesome. Do it. I appreciate the support. If you want to leave me a review for the podcast, that by itself is a massive gift. If you learn from this podcast and you take 3 minutes and actually go to iTunes and leave me a positive 5-star review, that is a bona fide, straight up high five gift to me. Seriously appreciate it. It helps us get the word out. That's it. If you have questions or if you have ideas on what I can do to make this better and more interesting, if there's something you want me to talk about, a question you want me to answer, I want you to send me an email at josh@radiusbomb.com, and I'll check it. I'll get it on the podcast. I appreciate all of you. Take care. God bless. Hey, thanks for hanging out, friends. And from all of us here at the Quick Talk Podcast team, we hope you loved today's show. We hope that you were inspired to become a doer and not just a listener. Apply what you've heard today in your own business and watch things change for the better. Lastly, remember that all the money in the world can't save your soul. Seek first the kingdom of God, my friends. We'll see you next time.
For more information about the Quick Talk Podcast or Joshua's other businesses, visit our website, quicktalkpodcast.com. Have a blessed day.